Referee for this match is none other than legendary former world champion Gene Kiniski. And the reigning defending heavyweight champion in this match is none other than Harley Race. And face to face is the former NWA heavyweight champion, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. The referee doing his checks, make sure there are no illegal weapons in this matchup. If there's anything Gene Kiniski knows, is that when it comes to big matches like these, you can never be too safe about what one of these athletes may be hiding in their boots, in their knee pads, in their trunks. It's better to be safe than sorry, covering all of your bases. The Nature Boy Ric Flair wants nothing more than to win the NWA Heavyweight Championship back. However, that's easier said than done, especially when the Nature Boy is locked inside this hellacious structure with Harley Race. And now we go. Now we get started. This is a massive opportunity for Ric Flair to get the gold back. The Nature Boy hyping up the crowd. Flair driving Harley into the ropes. And again, these two tie up collar and elbow. Nice side headlock takedown by Flair. Quickly gets turned into a cover by Race. However, with no advantage to be made by either man, as Ric Flair is quick to get back up to his feet. There is no easy way to train for a match like this. Being surrounded by tons of steel. This is going to be a career-changing moment. Perhaps life-changing, depending on what both of their bodies end up looking like by the time they are said and done in this steel cage match. Currently, Ric Flair seems to find himself in control, using this side headlock to his full effect, as Harley Race tries to work his way back up, trying to break free of the grip of the Nature Boy. Now a rope break being enforced. Race is quick to drive the knee into the midsection. And to the Nature Boy, do not put your hands on that referee. Gene Kiniski, if there's one thing I know about Kiniski, is he is not afraid. Even if he's just the referee for this match, that's his ring. You don't want to mess around with Gene Kiniski. And Ric Flair able to return the favor with a knee of his own, following it up with a nice snapmare into a chin lock. Making sure it's not a chokehold, as Gene Kiniski, of course, chokeholds aren't quite legal, if you will. Again, relying back on the side headlock to wear down the heavyweight champion, Harley Race. It's a very wise strategy, especially when you know you're probably going to have to go the distance with Harley Race. Better to wear him down early than to be sorry later. Went down for a headbutt, but nobody home for Harley Race. Harley Race got a face full of mat and no Nature Boy. Oh, what a thunderous chop. Something went flying out of the mouth of Harley Race following that emphatic chop to the chest. Gets taken down by Flair is Race, calling for that pin, as referee Gene Kiniski is watching it very closely to see where the shoulders are of Harley Race. Harley Race is in danger of being pinned right now. If Ric Flair can shift the weight properly, Flair may just be able to pull out a pinfall right here, gets a 1 count. The thing is, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a struggle. It is going to be a fight. And that's what both of these men wanted. They're going to get the fight that they both asked for. Flair shifting the weight right back as Harley Race had a split second to counter on Flair, of Flair being on his back. Momentarily, that is. The thing is, this match, we got 1 hour. Can Ric Flair do it before the hour ends? Is Harley Race going to have to go the distance for the full hour just to make sure he retains his championship? When that bell rings at 1 hour, if neither man has gotten the pinfall, well, Harley Race, by default, will leave as still the heavyweight champion due to the time limit being reached, as Ric Flair looks to put away Race, trying to use all of his body weight to push down Race's shoulders into the mat to get a tight-knit cover. First fall to a finish. 1 hour. Who is going to get there? Trying to just scrap through each other, trying to get back up. And a massive suplex by Harley Race. That could be the shift in momentum that has been much needed for Harley Race. But nice force of a kick out. And the rising to falling of that elbow drop. However, nothing but mat. Race lands full on the Nature Boy, driving Flair into the mat. You see that there is blood covered all over the mat. This has been one of the most hellacious nights here at Starrcade. Flair trying to roll away, roll out of trouble. However, when the cage is wrapped around the ring, there is no way in and there is no way out. Ric Flair is just going to have to play the game. Meanwhile, referee Gene Kiniski trying to hold back Harley Race like a wild dog due to the rope break. Driving Flair face first into that top turnbuckle. Things are not looking good for the number one contender for the world championship. Flair is really going to need a big turnaround at this point. Taking some heavy artillery blows from Harley Race. Highly calculated, highly efficient shots. All planned as Race driving the knee onto Flair. And again, it's Gene Kiniski getting handsy, trying to tell Harley Race, you got to get free before I disqualify you. And in the event of a disqualification, we'd still see Harley Race as still NWA heavyweight champion. Thinking pile driver, this one could end it all. Flair still moving after that. However, experiencing a lot of pain in his neck. And the elbow onto Flair. He got all of it that time. Flair able to get the shoulder up, but not with as much emphasis as he did earlier in the match. Flair is showing the exhaustion, showing the wear and tear that this match has to offer. And a large part of it is Harley Race will just not stop. Harley Race is not a remorseful soul. And a swinging neck breaker by the champion. Quick to follow up with a lateral press cover. This time Flair got a little bit more oomph in that kick out. There's no doubt in my mind the pain and the agony that Flair is feeling in his neck as the vibrations come in heavy. The way when you land on the top of your head like that, your spine just compressing into itself off that pile driver. And things are looking bleak for Flair. The end could be near, and Flair could be facing defeat at the hands of Harley Race. And what Flair was looking for as revenge to win back the NWA Heavyweight Championship could very well be the end as Flair falls face first into the mat. We're getting a nice overhead shot of this matchup as Race has Flair up, and what goes up must come down, driving Flair into the mat. Another pin attempt. However, Flair manages to get the shoulder up at 2. Gene Kiniski letting Harley Race know, hey, that was 2. Flair gets a shot to the midsection. And once more, is there still hope? Is there still a chance for Flair? And again, driving the fist in the midsection. As Kiniski reminded, no closed fists to Flair. And drives the head into Flair's head as Harley Race. It seemed that Flair was starting to build some offense, starting to finally get back with it and get to it. But Harley Race, just like that, finds himself right back in the driver's seat. And I may have spoken too soon as Flair gets the boot up. However, Harley looks 99% unfazed by it. There was a split second that it caught him off guard. As Harley again driving Flair into the cage. As Flair gets driven. Only to fall into the mat. This is not looking good for Flair whatsoever. As Flair is trying to do everything he can to stay with it. Flair again, Kiniski trying to do everything he can to pull Harley out of the corner. And Flair gets a quick snapshot. It appears that the Nature Boy maybe busted open. The crimson mask forms over the face of the #1 contender, Ric Flair, being sent into the cage all those times head first. It'll certainly open you up. As it drips and flows out of the face of the Nature Boy. Losing blood like this, the longer Ric Flair continues to lose blood, the exhaustion will build and build. Your energy levels will deplete significantly. And Flair able to counter, whipping Race hard into the corner. Now the question is, how does Flair capitalize? And the woo from Flair rallies the crowd as Race got sent hard into the cage. It seems it's Flair's time to take control. Flair on the attack, starting with a snapmare to follow up, driving the knee right on the head of Harley Race. And Harley Race has now been busted open. And Flair looking to add some salt to that wound with a boot to the head. Now it's Flair. You saw a pile driver earlier from Race. However, we're a little bit further along in this match. This could be the final blow. Race manages to survive. Flair starting to put some torque on that neck, nearly snapping the neck of the world's champion. Has the underhook deep, double underhook into a suplex to finish off Race, but not quite enough to put the heavyweight champion away. Flair had managed to get a 2 count. However, a 2 count does not mean champion. A 2 count means that the champion still has some fight left, still has a dog left in this fight, and there is still fuel left in the tank. Dessert is being served. Served fresh to Harley Race in what has become an absolute bloody brawl between Race and Flair inside the steel cage here at Starrcade, with the biggest prize on the line, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And again, Race does not want to live by the rules. Race wants to get down and dirty. Race using the steel cage as a cheese grater, just sending Flair's face back and forth on the steel cage. The grates. Race has got to be careful. Race has found himself in constant confrontation with referee Gene Kiniski. As I mentioned, Kiniski, former legendary world champion, who would go on to lose the title to Dory Funk, another legendary heavyweight champion. And a boot to the midsection, and Flair is finding the drive as he looks to put away Race, who kicks out. Flair thought he had it. How does Flair follow up? An elbow drop. Picture perfect. Flair hammering away, clubbing at the champion. The energy, ice in the veins of Flair. There is new life in the Nature Boy. There may be blood pouring down the face of the Nature Boy, but the same can be said for Harley Race, who gets driven with a backdrop. With both men losing a significant amount of blood, it's only a matter of time. Flair looking for the figure 4, center of the ring. Harley Race is in deep, deep trouble here in no man's land. Over the NWA logo that is imprinted on the center of the mat, being that this match is all about the NWA Heavyweight Championship. Oh, I thought that for a split second that Harley Race was going to tap. Now is overturned. And now we're at the ropes. A rope break being enforced. Flair is back up. And a shot coming in from Harley Race to Flair. These two are not holding back at all. You got to wonder what that final blow looks like. Who gets the finishing touch on this matchup? Race went for a suplex. Flair lands on Race to put away. Flair with an attempt to put away Race, but not quite enough as Race stays alive. Keeping the heavyweight champion down is much easier said than it is done. However, it can be done, being that the Nature Boy is a former heavyweight champion. Off the second rope with that headbutt. Full effect. However, with the wear and tear, as I continue to mention throughout this match, it only gets worse and worse for both these men. So for Harley Race, it becomes more complicated to capitalize after landing such a highly effective maneuver. With Race, he's going to look for the big shot. Thinking suplex into the center. And what goes up must come down. Thank you for the law of gravity. And speaking of what goes down, down is Flair on the mat. However, the shoulders come up as Flair sticks with it. When the reward is just too big, you have to be able to and be willing to fight till your dying breath with everything you have to offer, knowing that the biggest prize in the NWA is on the line. And now the end could be near. Flair trying to put up his hands as if he's still ready to go. Swings with no effect. However, I'll say those jabs are having some effect by Harley Race. As Race driving Flair into the steel cage. Flair is a man who has been brutally beaten. A man who has been taken to what could be his limit. We'll find out soon enough if Flair has reached his limit, has reached his breaking point. And now grabbing the heavyweight champion by the hair because nothing else seems to be working to keep Harley Race off of Flair when the rope break is trying to be enforced. Flair's blonde hair turning bright red due to the blood from the exposed wound as the crimson mask only continues. Flair able to counter, and Flair takes down Harley Race. Great reversal, turning into a beautiful suplex. Flair, the challenger, looks to follow up with a driving elbow. Just that split millisecond is enough to be the difference maker for Harley Race to get out of harm's way. The problem is when you lose so much blood and the crimson mask forms. And down goes the referee. It wasn't on purpose, but Gene Kiniski going down. Flair fighting out of the corner. It seems that Flair might be looking to us. Oh, I thought he was going to escape the cage, but off the top. High cross body. Can he get there? And he's got him. Flair's done it. Flair has done it. Ric Flair is the heavyweight champion. Ric Flair has ended the reign of the 7-time NWA heavyweight champion Harley Race. Flair has realized the dream once again of being at the top of the mountain, of being the heavyweight champion. But for Harley Race, that dream comes to an end. That 7th reign as heavyweight champion is over. And Flair is being celebrated by the many that have believed in the Nature Boy. Congratulations. Harley Race still wants to go. Harley Race trying to figure out what just happened. Nonetheless, it's a celebration for Ric Flair as your brand new NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Congratulations, as Gene Kiniski, the special guest referee for this title match, congratulated Flair, showing respect to the new heavyweight champion. Congratulations, Nature Boy.